Is it plausible to believe that the riches of a land could be the primary cause of its turmoil? Welcome to the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This vast nation, abundant in natural wealth, finds itself entangled in a web of violence and political instability. At the core of this conflict are armed groups, foreign forces, and government militias, each vying for a share of the mineral-rich eastern region of the country. The Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, is a land of contradiction, a place where immense wealth lies beneath the soil, and yet its people endure relentless hardship. Among the key players in this decades-long conflict is the M23 rebel group, formed in 2012 and resurfacing a decade later with renewed vigor. M23 is accused of being funded by Rwanda. Then there's the ADF, hailing originally from Uganda, which operates in the eastern DRC and is reportedly linked to the notorious ISIL. Codeco, another active group in the region, advocates for the Lendu ethnic group and has targeted civilians and gold mines. But it's not just these armed groups that shape the narrative. The eastern region also witnesses the presence of pro-government militias, vigilante groups, and the FDLR, an ethnic Hutu group supported by the Congolese army. This complicated mix of actors only serves to exacerbate the conflict, leading to escalating violence and displacement of civilians. At the heart of this conflict lies the country's mineral wealth. The eastern DRC is rich in gold and coltan, resources that have become a curse rather than a blessing. These minerals fuel the conflict, generating significant revenue for the armed actors, much of which is smuggled out of the country through neighboring Uganda and Rwanda. This exploitation of natural resources perpetuates a cycle of violence and poverty, leading to a situation where the most vulnerable are left with no choice but to resort to survival sex work, as seen in the town of Luhihi. Here, young girls like Deborah turn to prostitution to support themselves and their families. As we delve deeper into the conflict, it is important to remember the millions of lives affected, the families displaced, and the communities destroyed. In the early hours of the morning, the city of Kiwanja and Mweso became the epicenter of a fierce battle between the M23, RDF, and UPDF, and the combined forces of the FARD and SADC armies. As dawn broke, the M23 RDF and UPDF launched an audacious assault, unleashing a wave of violence upon the cities of Kiwanja and Mweso. Yet they were met with a formidable response from the combined forces of the FARDC and SADC armies. The counterstrike was swift and decisive, demonstrating the strength and resolve of the Congolese and the Southern African Development Community forces. The battle was fierce, the stakes high, and the firepower of the FARDC and SADC armies was met with resilience. But the tenacity and valor of the Congolese soldiers prevailed. Slowly but surely, the M23, RDF, and UPDF were pushed back, their determined assault repelled. The tide of the battle turned, and the cities of Kiwanja and Mweso were recaptured by the FARDC. The M23 rebels, not ready to admit defeat, retreated to the hills, but they couldn't escape the tenacious pursuit of the FARDC Air Force. The skies echoed with the deafening roar of aircraft engines and the thunderous sound of bombardment. The hills, once a safe haven for the M23, became a battleground, and the rebels found themselves at the mercy of the pursuing FARDC. But this victory did not come without a cost. Far away beyond the borders of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda was hit hard by the repercussions of this conflict. The losses incurred were significant, casting a somber shadow over the nation. It was a day of mourning for Rwanda, a stark reminder of the devastating impact of these conflicts. Yet, in the face of adversity, the spirit of the Congolese people remained unbroken. The patriots of the DR Congo celebrated the bravery and sacrifice of their boys and girls in the FARDC under the leadership of General Chico. Their resilience and courage were a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil, a testament to the indomitable will of the Congolese people. Today, Rwanda mourns its losses while the patriots of DR Congo celebrate the bravery of their boys and girls in the FARDC under the leadership of General Chiko. With the dust settling on the battlefields of Kiwanja and Mweso, we are left to ponder the repercussions of this conflict and what the future holds for the Democratic Republic of Congo. The immediate fallout is stark. The cityscape bears scars of the intense firefight, and the civilians caught in the crossfire now face the uphill task of rebuilding their lives amidst the rubble. The impact on Rwanda is another key aspect to consider. The losses they've encountered today are significant and may force the country to reconsider its involvement in the war. The battlefield defeat could potentially strain Rwanda's resources and political standing, leading to a shift in the region's power dynamics. But the broader implications of this battle don't stop at Rwanda's borders. The ongoing conflict in DR Congo, driven by the struggle for control over its mineral-rich eastern region, has been a decades-long saga involving a complex web of armed groups, foreign forces, and government militias. The recent events in Kiwanja and Mweso add yet another layer to this intricate narrative. Looking ahead, potential future scenarios paint a picture of uncertainty, but not without a glimmer of hope. The victory of the Democratic Republic of Congo Army, or FARDC, could serve as a turning point, potentially discouraging further insurgencies and fostering a sense of stability in the region. However, for lasting peace to take hold, tackling the root causes of the conflict, such as control over mineral resources and ethnic tensions, will be crucial. Moreover, the international community's role in mediating the conflict and supporting the DR Congo in its recovery cannot be understated. From humanitarian aid to diplomatic interventions, the world's response to this crisis will significantly influence the country's path towards peace and prosperity. As the sun sets on the battle-scarred landscapes of Kiwanja and Mweso, the Democratic Republic of Congo looks towards a future of uncertainty, but with a glimmer of hope. In the face of ongoing conflict, the call for peace resounds louder than ever. But what does peace look like in a region riddled with complex conflicts and deeply ingrained hostilities? Imagine, if you will, a path to peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It might seem like a distant dream, but it's a journey we must embark on. This peace-building journey demands a multifaceted approach, one that addresses not just the symptoms of the conflict, but its root causes. In a region like the DRC, where mineral wealth is both a blessing and a curse, the exploitation of these resources must be brought to the forefront of any peace-building strategy. It's time to dissect the illicit trade of conflict minerals like gold and coltan, which generate significant revenue for armed actors and fuel the flames of conflict. The international community has a crucial role to play here in supporting efforts to regulate and monitor this trade and to hold those who profit from it accountable. But the pursuit of peace goes beyond economics. It's about addressing the deep-seated ethnic tensions and hostilities that have been allowed to fester for decades. It's about promoting reconciliation and justice, acknowledging the suffering of the millions who have been displaced or lost their lives in this conflict. International actors, especially those in the region, need to reconsider their involvement and their actions. They need to support, rather than undermine, the efforts of the DRC to achieve stability and peace. This might involve diplomatic negotiations, sanctions, or even peacekeeping missions. It's about working together to forge a future where the people of the DRC can live without fear of violence and exploitation. And let's not forget the brave men and women of the FARDC who risk their lives every day in the pursuit of peace. They are the front line in this struggle, but they cannot do it alone. They need the support of their government, their communities, and the international community. As we wrap up our coverage, let us remember that the pursuit of peace is not a destination, but a journey fraught with challenges, but also filled with hope. It's a journey that we must all commit to, for the sake of the people of the DRC and for the sake of a world where peace is more than just a dream. As we bring our focus back from the microcosm of the battle for Kiwanja and Mweso to the broader conflict in DR Congo, we are reminded of the complex and intertwined issues at play. The recent clash, a mere fragment of a decades-long conflict, underscores the intricate web of armed groups, foreign forces, and government militias that fuel the unrest in this resource-rich nation. In the face of the relentless attacks launched by groups like M23, Codeco, and ADF, the Democratic Republic of the Congo's army, the FARDC, along with the SADC army, has shown unwavering resilience. Their recent victory in Kiwanja and Mweso serves as a testament to their relentless pursuit of peace and stability in the region. Yet the battle is far from over. The enduring conflict continues to result in escalating violence and displacement of civilians. Millions have lost their lives and countless others have been forced to abandon their homes since this conflict ignited in 1996. The exploitation of the region's natural resources, such as gold and coltan, further fuels the fire of this protracted conflict, highlighting the urgent need for comprehensive solutions. This conflict is not just a battle for territory, it's a battle for the livelihood and dignity of the Congolese people. Young girls like Deborah, forced into survival sex work due to extreme poverty and insecurity, are the human faces behind the headlines. Their stories remind us that the repercussions of this conflict extend far beyond the battlefield, permeating every aspect of daily life in the DRC. In the midst of these challenges, the call for peace echoes louder than ever. The need for a peaceful resolution, one that addresses not just the symptoms but the root causes of the conflict, is critical. It's a call for effective governance, for economic stability, for the protection of human rights, and for the recognition and respect of every individual's inherent dignity. In a world where conflict and peace coexist, the story of the Democratic Republic of Congo serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the enduring hope for a peaceful future.